Hey, good morning, Alaska. Well, I'm putting it on this morning without a test, so hopefully I don't have too much buffering. But thanks for joining us this morning. I'm your host, Fishermanjake, and I'm aiming to bring you guys some Alaska reality without any Hollywood drama. So last week, I had some rocks that I showed you guys and that I had found at a mine, and I got a chance to crush those up, and I have the last little remains of them right here in this pan. I'll show you how I did. But, um, anyways, I want to just get to what's going on around the state right now, and just kind of let you know what our weather's going to be like and fishing report and stuff like that. Anyways, today is supposed to be a really nice day in the interior. It might be a little rough down along the coast. So as the week progresses, it's supposed to calm down, but it's supposed to be a cool week with maybe mixed rain showers and stuff like that. So even for Fairbanks and down into South Central, it's going to be mixed and cooler, and then it should be warming up around Sunday. Of course, they never know with the weather around here, so that always varies, but don't expect it to be super warm. Expect to have a little bit of rain, maybe a little bit, just not great, a little bit cooler than normal, or normal weather that's a little bit cooler. And then around the end of the weekend, I believe we're 2 weeks out from Memorial Day weekend, but the end of next weekend we should see a little bit warmer weather. Hopefully it'll warm up for Memorial Day. But the seas, the ocean should be pretty choppy today out of Homer. Probably wouldn't recommend going out of Homer today, but through the week it should calm down a little bit. Might be a little choppier, then it won't be flat all week, but that can change too pretty quickly. No big storms coming in. Today would be the roughest according to the weather forecast. Anyways, last Tuesday, my dad was able to make it out fishing again, and they got two king salmon, or three king salmon for 2 days of fishing. So they did pretty good still out trolling. So it's good to see that the king salmon are returning to South Central better than they have in the past. We had years where we'd go out and we wouldn't have anything, maybe 4 years ago. Just want to remind you guys that Fish and Game hasn't opened clam digging on the Kenai. I'm really going to miss it this year, so that's closed down right now. We always do razor clam digging, but for the last 3 or 4 years, it's been closed to sport clamming, which is unfortunate. I've also seen some halibut reports coming out of Valdez, and they seem to be doing pretty good out of Valdez. You should expect to see it pick up out of Homer here in the next couple of weeks. But fishing there is improving, and then the first few kings should be returning to the rivers. I believe the Anchor River will open up this weekend, and the rest of those down on the small streams and on the Kenai Peninsula will open the following weekend, which is Memorial Day weekend. But I did see a report from the Susitna River, and somebody had caught a king. So that was cool to see. Pretty early, but they had a nice king. So they're coming in. And then I've seen a lot of people catching rainbows, and I actually got a video up of some rainbow trout spawning. We close the lake. The lake that we have is a spawning population. It's not a stock population of rainbows. It was originally stocked, but we were really careful not to fish them while they're spawning. This time of year they are. And I got a video up of some underwater footage of them trying to spawn. Unfortunately, it was in a lake. But the creek outlet that comes out of that lake, I'll probably put it down this week, and we'll see how that does. So, anyways, there's quite a few rainbow trout around. The big ones are circling, and they're hungry, and the ice is going out on a lot of the lakes, and so that makes it really a good time to fish them, because a lot of the fish will be patrolling the opening area, or they'll be up in the shallows looking for food from the long winter. They're really starting to get more active, and then it'll slow down when the water temperature warms up. But right now it's pretty cold. So I have a new fishing rod that I'll show you guys next week. So maybe I'll get a chance to try it out this week. But my goal is to catch king salmon on it, and it's super ultra light. So we'll see if that happens. It'd be a cool video if I can get it up. If I can catch one anyways. It's going to be quite a challenge. But anyways, we'll get into the gold here. Oh, there's a couple other things I have too. So I live quite a ways out from town, the valley, Wasilla, Palmer, and we go in to get groceries. But it turns out since we went outside for a month, we didn't go through Wasilla and Palmer. I haven't been into Wasilla and Palmer since March 2nd. So I don't know, that's 2.5 months without going to town. That's pretty good in my book. So I love it out here. So if I don't make it to town, it's no sweat for me. In fact, I like being able to get out and enjoy the outdoors out here a lot more than I like going and getting groceries or running errands. So that's kind of a neat thing. I've been able to put in a lot of stuff in our yard. We're making a garden. We transplanted some plants. We worked on an outdoor front area with trees and some perennials that we put in. Hopefully the weeds won't come in there. Did some work with our chickens. They started laying this last couple of weeks, and I've been working with training our puppy, which our puppy, for those of you who missed the first live feed, was our big surprise. She's our new cast member, Chaga the Dogga. So she is doing well, and she's learning her manners and learning some commands, and she's a yellow lab. But she has been pointing at some things, so I'm really excited about that, because I'd like to get her hunting on upland birds like ptarmigan and maybe some ruffed grouse and spruce grouse. So we'll see if that happens, how she does with that, but that'll be a ways down the road. The weather's warming up and stuff, and when we're out in the woods, I've got to be cautious because the bears are coming out now. So in any of our videos, you'll see me packing around my 44 mag. It's pretty much a necessity for me. Just, it's not worth the risk to have a bear coming after us out in the woods. So hopefully I'll never have to use it on a bear, but if I do, I do. So without further ado, here is the gold pan. Now, I've got a little bit, the water's brown because there's a lot of sulfides. Pyrite is a sulfide, and also these other sulfides in here. Bismuthinite is bismuth sulfide, and that, let's see if I can get it up here. The bismuthinite is what the gold's associated with. Spill water all over my keyboard. So there's quite a bit of pyrite in there, but all the gold was really, really fine, so I doubt you'll be able to see it. There was one little bit, like a wiry piece of gold, that was in it. So I guess you're just going to have to take my word that I did find a little bit of gold, but it wasn't as much as I was expecting or hoping. So maybe I'll get some. Maybe I'll get some other like quartz specimens and stuff from the river or from where we gold pan and see if there's some stuff in there in the future. But my son has been really getting after me. Cody has been really getting after me to go out morel mushroom picking. So he was almost in tears last night when I told him they wouldn't be out yet. They take a little bit longer up here to come up. For those of you guys who are in the States, you're probably right in the thick of them right now, or your season's even done. But he really wants to go look for morels, and we have about 2 weeks before we should start seeing them with the way the weather's going. So, anyways, he's all excited about that, and he wants to go gold panning too. It's about this time of year I get gold fever really, really bad. The creeks start opening up, and it's just time to hit them, and when they're low, go after the gold in the creeks. And so, just for fun, I brought some stuff up, and it's on this desk here. Let's see. I'll tell a quick little story here. This is something that is really cool to me. By the way, good morning to Rustic by Nature. He's tuning in on the live feed here. This $50, it's a silver $50, was my first big gold find. So I was living in the Nilchik in high school, and my dad got us a sluice box, just an in-stream sluice box, and I would always go down to a little creek, and we'd go by a culvert at the where the culvert comes out at the road, and we would just shovel around that culvert. And I was sitting there shoveling in, and I had my brothers with me. And at that time, they didn't really care for gold panning, but they'd go with me just to hang out with me. And they were in grade school, and I was just in high school, I think. And so I would get them to go pick rocks in the sluice box, and they'd get mad at me. Well, we're just finding maybe 2 colors of pan or something, something ridiculous. At the end of the day, I'd have like 20 or 30 colors in the sluice box. Not very much, but we're sitting there shoveling, and my brother Josh is like, "Jake, I found something." And we had put some material through, and we found a $50 from Benjamin Franklin $50 from 1963. 90% silver, 10% mercury, or whatever. And so that was our coolest find. We're like, yeah, it's actually worth something. We actually found something that we could sell. But it was kind of special to me, so I bought my share from my brothers while they were young, and I've kept it since then. So I'll probably keep it and give it to my kids someday. But anyways, that was neat. So when I go gold panning, this is generally what I find, and it's what we found when we were down living in the Nilchik. And it's just flour gold. So, but in the spot I go, I actually find some. You can see it there. This is an ounce vial. If I filled this with flour gold, it would be about an ounce of gold. Kind of really neat. I find enough now to where it actually adds up to something. I'd be lucky in the Nilchik if I could have ever just filled to where you couldn't see through the bottom of the. I guess that's just where this is. But if I ever found this much when I was in Ninilchik, I would have been like beside myself. So I take a bunch of people out gold panning in the summer and just teach them how to do it. And we don't find too much, but it adds up over time. And I send them home with a little vial with a little bit of gold in it, and they really enjoy that. But what I really like to do, by the way, good morning, Mud Wars Gaming. What I really like to do is when I take people, see, this looks like a big old gold nugget here. So does this. Look at that. Wow, they're huge. I wish I found these, but these are actually fake. So my pastor gave this to me. This is a gold-plated copper nugget. Now, I'm giving away stuff, so if people that are coming gold panning with me are watching this, they're going to be ready for it. But what I do is I'll spike the pan and get people. I like to give people a taste of gold fever, especially with this baby right here. This was a aluminum nugget. Well, not nugget, but a melted piece of aluminum, and it really kind of has that look of a gold nugget. You're like, wow, that's a monster. But it's actually really, really light, and I've just painted it gold. But I found that at a trash pile in Hawaii. So I saw that and I'm like, oh, that'll make a great gold nugget. So, anyways, those are fake, but this right here is real. The big one there is my best little nugget. I'll take it out here. And my wife and I at one point were looking at maybe purchasing a claim. And it has some weight to it. You can see next to my pinky nail here. It's almost, not quite half the size, but almost. It weighs about 11 and a half grains is what it weighs. So that's half a penny weight. And half a penny weight of gold. And so that's, at today's price is half a penny weight's like, I don't know, $30 nugget, which is pretty good. So I have right here about a penny weight of gold, and there's 20 penny weight in an ounce. So that's about a 20th of an ounce. So at $1,200 an ounce, that's about $60. And I have sold some, but my wife and I went out looking for them, and we were looking at buying this claim, and we went out there and we started looking around, just walking the bedrock, and we were picking these little chunks of gold out of the bedrock. So like we were picking chunks like this, about 3 to 5 grains, one by one out of the bedrock. And there wasn't a ton, but I mean, we picked up like 15 pieces off the bedrock. And actually my biggest nugget there, you just wash the water on the shore, and then it wash away some of the material, and then the gold would be left behind. But the biggest nugget there, I was shoveling stuff into the sluice box, and I looked down at my feet where the water was lapping on the bank, and there it is, just sitting down there. And so I bent down and picked it up, and now I got my biggest nugget. But I don't really want to sell these because these are my best ones. And I made a necklace for my wife, but she wears that pretty much a lot for special occasions and stuff. And it's got like it's got the little gold pieces in the necklace, and that's about a third full, and it's a pretty good size thing. We found that day we went, we found about a tenth of an ounce or something, maybe a little bit more, maybe an eighth or a sixth of an ounce, somewhere around there. So we had a good time with that, but it's hard for us to get back in to where we found this gold, and we don't get back there um, very often. But when we do, we really enjoy it. And I also find fossils and stuff back there. So hopefully I'll get out here this spring and get some video footage up. Maybe I'll get some video footage with us beating my record. Then I'll sell them if I can beat my record. I kind of want to keep my biggest nugget and keep the story behind it. I may just keep that one because it's got a cool story. But yeah, I'm getting a question here if I ever dry pan, and I don't really need to dry pan. Hydraulics work really, really well, and they're the best for separating gold, and there's lots of water in Alaska, so dry panning's not really a necessity up here. So we just get on the creeks and work material, and generally that's where we're finding the placer gold anyways. So that's how we do it. But anyways, I want to get down. I've done gold panning out of Hope and up the Glen Highway a little ways, and just in various spots out of Fairbanks. And the best I've done is out in the Talkeetna Mountains. But I would like to try. There's a place there they let you pay to pan. I'd like to go to Crow Creek. That was the biggest strike in South Central, and try panning there, and just do a video on a thing to do in Alaska. So maybe mix that with some hooligan fishing here in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be heading down to the Kenai to go fishing with some friends of mine, and hopefully I'll get some underwater footage while we're there as well. It would be cool to have some halibut hitting the hook, and just get some video while we go halibut fishing and king salmon trolling. But that'll be in a weekend after Memorial Day. So we're, I don't know, 3 weeks out from that. But we're looking forward to going down to the Kenai Peninsula, and it should be a good time. So today I'm actually going out to the Matanuska Glacier. I'm taking some people out on a tour out there. So taking some kids from school. They're in 6th grade, and we're going out, and I'm basically giving them a tour of the Matanuska Glacier. So they enjoy that. It's what I do. I work at a Bible camp, and so they have their outdoor ed, and we take them out. So, and I also take them on a fossil bed hike to find fossils. But I just got my CDL, so I am stuck on all the glacier runs, and the fossil bed's actually my favorite one. Oh darn, I got to go to the glacier 4 times this week. It's rough. So it's a beautiful day today. Really, really blue skies and stuff, but I'm going to have to head up here in the next 5 or 6 minutes, so I'll have to be done here. I'm getting a question from Ron. Do I have any creeks around here? We got all kinds of creeks, all kinds of them. I got a creek in my backyard that I could set up a sluice box. It runs enough. It's called Spring Creek. It runs enough hydraulics through it that I could run a sluice box real easily. And so if I ever want to get some material that's like dry wash stuff, I'll just bring it back with me and pan it out here at the house. So it might be fun to set up an old style sluice box back there and do it like the old timers did. Just build one and shovel it in. I tried gold panning on my property here with no luck. I was kind of bummed. We had this nice big foundation area open, lots of rocks, was finding some pyrite in some of the rocks. I'm like, I wonder if that's arsenopyrite, which is often associated with gold. I wonder if there's gold here, and I didn't find even a single color. So, oh well, I can find it around me. Not only do we have creeks around here, but we have some big rivers too. So, it's all this stuff drains. There's snow melt. Everything's locked up in the winter, so all that stuff has to drain in the summer. So there's a lot of watersheds here, and you'll get to see a lot of them if you keep watching on all the country I go through as we post more and more videos. So we're getting close to that 1,000 mark, and I also have a Facebook page. If you guys have Facebook, that you can like. It's just Fishermanjake, AK, same thing, and I do post some stuff on there. Most of it's from YouTube, but I'm trying to gain a following there because we want to take this bigger and bigger and grow it. So it's kind of our on the side thing right now, but it's something we'd like to do in the future as well. So we're trying to grow it, and we're gonna keep up with you guys, and hey guys, thanks for tuning in with me, and next week I've got a new fishing pole I'm going to show you guys, and it's a really ultralight fishing pole. It's kind of a novelty item, but I'll show it to you guys next week. I forgot it. I left it at work because I was showing some people at work, but I'll bring it back, and I'm going to try and catch a king on it, and we'll see if we do. It'll be impressive if I do. It'd be like, it can handle like 6 or 8 pound test is about the most it can, and a king's pretty good sized fish. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in with me. I got to head up and go get ready to trek on the glacier. Maybe I'll bring a camera with me, my GoPro or my other camera, and take some footage out there. It's so beautiful up there. You cannot imagine how beautiful this country is. But it's one thing to see it on video, but to be out in it, it's just so majestic. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to sign out here, but I'm going to give it a couple, maybe 30 seconds, because I don't know if it catches the end. Thanks, guys, for adding me on Facebook, too. All right, guys, see you next week. Same time, Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. And if I'm ever going to miss it, I'll either pre-record something or I'll let you know ahead of time, a week ahead of time. So we're going to keep doing this time.